Today, we are talking about another one of the four spheres. So far, we've learned a little bit of more detail about the biosphere, which was all life on the planet. Today, we are going to be talking about the atmosphere. Which one of the spheres was atmosphere? Sam. Air. Yeah, hang on a second.
Good job. 100%.
Yeah, I forgot I'm singing right now. Okay. Oh. Yep. Okay. 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 All right. Atmosphere. Atmosphere means air. You are correct. So today we're going to be learning about the outer layers of the Earth. Okay. What is happening? That was a spam call. I don't need that. Okay. The atmosphere. So guys, virtual friends, you should have this article that we have on your Seesaw. We're going to go through it, and we're also going to build a chart.
Build a chart?
It's over here, but I will move the camera closer when it's time for us to build it. Okay. What is the atmosphere? Do you feel that warm blanket? Not really today. No, not the sun. It's the atmosphere. The atmosphere is a thick layer of gases that surrounds Earth almost like a blanket. This blanket of gases is vital to life on Earth for a variety of reasons. What does that mean, a variety of reasons?
A whole bunch.
A whole bunch. You're right. Okay. First, it contains the air we breathe. The atmosphere is made up of 99% nitrogen and oxygen, with the other 1% being a mixture of gases like carbon dioxide, helium, and neon. You thought neon was a color.
Nope.
It's an element. It's a gas. Okay.
It's a light.
Yes. Neon is also present in certain lights. Okay. The high percentage of nitrogen and oxygen allows us to breathe easily. Next, the atmosphere keeps us warm by trapping heat from the sun. The sun's rays reflect off of the Earth's surface before getting trapped in the atmosphere. And lastly, the atmosphere contains an important layer called the ozone layer. And I'm positive you guys have probably heard of the ozone layer before, even if you don't know exactly what it is. And the ozone layer protects us from harmful UV radiation from the sun.
It's ultraviolet.
UV stands for ultraviolet. You are right.
Ultraviolet light is the light that is bad for you and you can't look at it.
Yeah, ultraviolet light. We can't actually see it with the human eye, but it is really bad for us. It would burn us up to a crisp if we had extensive, long-term exposure to it. It's what causes sunburn and burns you up. So you can imagine you didn't have sunscreen on and you were on the beach. You'd burn, and if you were just out there for several days, you would be like fried. It's bad for your body, okay? And it's not just that, like it causes other damage. So the ozone it's invisible, like everything in the atmosphere, it's gases, so we don't see it, okay?
What about UV light?
You don't see the UV light, no.
Do UV rays cause skin?
Yes, UV rays can cause skin cancer. Okay. But so it says that the heat from the sun goes through the atmosphere and then it bounces back off the Earth's surface. So it's coming down, bounces back up, but then the gases trap that heat in. So it keeps us nice and warm. Even in the winter, it doesn't feel nice and warm outside. They just came in from recess. It was chilly when that door was open. But we are trapping some heat from the sun. Just remember, we're not getting as much heat right now because our hemisphere is tilted away from the sun.
No, it's just slightly tilted.
Okay, you two need to stop talking about whatever you're talking about and listen. Okay, troposphere. Another sphere?
Yeah, there's only 4.
I thought there were only 4. Okay, well, what's the troposphere? Let's find out. The troposphere is the first layer of the atmosphere. This is our home layer.
No, there's
Stop. Why? It contains the air we breathe, the clouds we see, and the birds flying above us. The air is very dense here. In fact, the troposphere is the smallest layer, extending 5 to 9 miles from the Earth's surface, but it makes up for 3/4 of the atmosphere's entire mass, which is its weight. Air in the troposphere is thicker near the equator and thinner near the poles. Have you ever been to the mountains and experienced shortness of breath or even dizziness? I have been in Colorado up to the top of Pikes Peak, which is a pretty high mountain in the United States. Rode a train up, and I also, well, I didn't drive, but a friend of mine drove up there, and it was really, really, really high up there. You're looking down, and the ground looks like far away. And yeah, you get lightheaded because the oxygen, you're high up in the sky, which means you're high up in the troposphere. So before I read any more though, like hi, we're going on a journey. Look, I got an extension cord. We can go anywhere now. Hi, look at us go. We're everywhere. All right. This is exciting, guys. I'm excited about it. So anyway, I have this chart. Let me figure out how to clip this on though now. This was all fun and games until I break my clip. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Hang with me. And then, okay, hang on. Working on it. All right. You guys, let me pin myself.
Miss Bab, you kind of knocked down some papers.
Yeah, I kind of totally destroyed some papers.
We can't see anything. You're so long.
Alright, I know, it's just
what
like...
in the world is that? That did not help anything.
Alright, well, here's my empty chart papers. Hang on. Hang on. New idea. I'll clip you somewhere else where you can see the poster better. We're working on it. Do.
Be positive.
All right, there we go. You guys feeling good about this? Pretty good. Okay. So our first layer is this layer called the troposphere, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so, and it said it was a thin layer, so I'm going to make it, I got my earth down here.
That's thin.
Pretty thin.
That's thin. That is thin.
Okay? And I'm going to name it Troposphere. Uh-oh, I can't spell.
That's not
Troposphere. Okay? It said the troposphere had what in it? The air we breathe.
Clouds and birds.
Clouds and birds. So I am going to draw
The cloud? So you're saying
the clouds.
and a bird? Up to the troposphere?
And maybe a bird. Hang on. Okay. All right, everybody feeling good? We got birds and clouds in our troposphere.
We need to add a really good drawing.
I'm feeling good about this drawing. I'm feeling excited that they can see this poster. Josie, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I have a connection.
Okay, connection, go.
So my dad went on a Knowles trip, and it's like where you hike for a while.
Uh-huh.
And then I remember him saying something about how whenever he was up in the mountains, because I'm pretty sure it was like somewhere with mountains, that it got harder and harder to breathe.
Yes, very much so. It was like literally the first time I went to the top of Pikes Peak when I was on vacation there, like I rode a train to the top, like there's a special kind of train that goes up the mountain. So like it wasn't like I hiked to the top of the mountain or anything, like I just sat on a train and rode it up there. And then I got out,
which one's
but it
better.
felt like I had like run a big race. I'm standing up there just like looking around, and I was like I felt out of breath. Yeah, you're exactly right. Like it felt like you just run like a big old relay race or something in PE class, but it was just way harder to breathe because if you think about it, if this is what normal level Earth is, a mountain comes up much higher, right? So the oxygen is getting thinner. You're literally at the top of a mountain, you're literally closer to space.
Not Everest. That's scary.
Right? I mean, we're still well within, like, gravity's going to hold us. Like, we're not, like, in space. But you're
jumping and just float into space.
But, no, you're not going to jump and float into space. But the farther away you go, the thinner the oxygen gets, the thinner the atmosphere, and there's not as much oxygen the further away you go. Okay. So it says as you increase your elevation, which we learned last week when we made the topographic map, the elevation means how high you are, how tall you are, okay? Elevation. The air becomes thinner, meaning less oxygen for you to breathe. The troposphere is also unique because it is where weather occurs. The root word tropos means change, a name chosen because of the frequently changing weather throughout the troposphere. Yeah, so I'm going to totally add some weather in here. One of these clouds is going to be raining.
Sunny.
Okay, no, not sunny. Rain. I might even put a bolt of lightning. Weather.
Does that be with the rain?
Okay, all right.
No.
Okay. So weather, clouds, birds, the air we breathe. That's the troposphere. We are in this troposphere.
My mom.
I'm wagging my arms around the troposphere.
Told me about it.
Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Stratosphere. The next layer of the atmosphere stretches for 22 miles. Oh, it said this one was how deep? 5 to 9 miles. Hang on, I'm going to get my purple marker back. I'm going to put 5 to 9 miles. From the Earth's surface to the end of the troposphere is about 5 to 9 miles. That depends on if you're standing flat on the Earth or you're at the tip of a mountain. Okay. Sam.
So, do you know how, like, in Denver, they call it the Mile High City?
He says Denver is nicknamed the Mile High City because?
Yeah, because, like, the air is thinner and it's so high. But, like, if you're going to go play, like, the Colorado Rockies or something, usually teams get there a few days early so they can adjust to the air. And then balls fly farther in Colorado because the air is thinner, so the ball can go farther. And that really affects, like, your stats. And then people, and then the Hall of Fame, people really
All right. So Sam was saying he knows that Denver, which is a city in Colorado, is called the Mile High City. And it is called that reason because remember we talked about elevation means how high you are above sea level, so being equal with the level of the ocean. Denver in Colorado is near the Rocky Mountains. There are lots of mountain ranges that run right through the western part of the United States there. And the elevation of a large part of Colorado and where Denver is literally a mile above sea level. So that's why it's called the Mile High City, because it seems like you're just walking on regular flat land, but compared to where the ocean is, if you were to travel the ocean, you're actually a mile higher than where the ocean, like, because you're just constantly, as you drive towards Colorado, you're just constantly going gradually up. Okay. So what we just learned is as you're going higher, the air is getting thinner. And we know that Sam is a huge baseball fan, right? So he said the Colorado Rockies, that's a baseball team, that if you're going to, like, play the Colorado, like, people that live in Colorado, they're used to it. But the air is thinner there. When I went to Colorado, I was getting a lot of headaches because it was harder to breathe there and my body wasn't used to it. And Sam said a lot of times when visiting baseball teams go there, they go there a day or two early so that the players have time to adjust, because think of it, if I just rode a train to the top of the mountain and got out and just standing there and I was like puffing, if you were actually playing baseball in that really thin air, wouldn't it be like crazy hard to breathe? Like, If you were actually doing exercise, like it would be really hard to breathe. So it makes sense then, yeah, you're right. That's a great point to bring up, that they would have to get there early so their bodies could kind of get used to breathing the thinner air. Okay, so now we're moving along. We've gone a little bit higher. We're not in the troposphere anymore. We're in the stratosphere. The next layer of the atmosphere stretches for 22 miles and is called the stratosphere. Strat means layer. Where have you heard that prefix? There is a word we have had that I taught you in 3rd grade, or Miss Holt, or Miss Lambert, or Mr. Rothweiler. I saw Lily's hand first. Lily, go for it.
Like stratus cloud.
Stratus clouds.
Oh, yeah.
And the stratus clouds were the ones that looked like lines, right? Like almost like layers.
Those clouds are outside right now.
Those clouds are outside right now?
I think so.
They sure are. Little Miss I was at recess and looked at the clouds. All right. So stratus clouds were the ones that were kind of like thin, wispy, layery looking clouds. Zeke.
No, this is about the Rockies thing, but the scenery we think of, it's not the baseball thing, but so my uncle and his son live in Colorado, and so they live up in the mountains, the Denver, and so they come here a lot. So like my uncle is here right now, but like his son is up in Colorado. But when they come down, they always say it's so easy to breathe here.
It's what?
It's so easy to breathe here.
Oh, so Zeke has family that lives in Colorado, and when they visit, like they're here right now, they said it's actually like they can tell that it's easier to breathe here. Hang on, I gotta turn the heater off. It is hot standing in the sunshine over here in front of the heater. Okay, so we've got the stratosphere, and it is 22 miles from where it begins. 22 miles from where it begins after the troposphere to where it ends. Okay. Strat means layer. So this is the second layer. And it is home to the ozone layer, which is a very important part of the atmosphere that protects us from the harmful UV rays from the sun. UV radiation is what causes sunburns and skin cancer. The stratosphere is generally calm and rarely has any clouds or turbulence. For this reason, it is an ideal place for airplanes to fly. Airplanes have the capability to pressurize the cabin so we have enough air to breathe while we fly far from the Earth's surface. Okay, so the ozone is here. Airplanes are here.
Draw some airplanes, Miss Dow.
And draw an airplane. I'm going to try.
Make it 3D.
Goodness. It's going to be a really cruddy airplane, I'm not going to lie.
I don't care. No. Okay, you're doing good so far. There you go. You're doing it, Miss Dow. That's good. You need to let it. Don't forget that.
And lots of windows.
That's
All right, there's my airplane in the stratosphere.
Do more.
More planes, I don't want them to crash.
Do it.
I also need to put that there's harmful UV rays here.
Like put like this little.
So I'm going to put UV
What?
and the ozone
Can't forget the satellite.
is blocking
Which one is the satellite?
those evil UV rays. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so the ozone is coming, or the UV rays are coming, the ozone blocks it. All right, so that's our
I have a question.
stratosphere, and Sophie has a question. Yes, ma'am.
Which one is the satellite? Is it the one with
The satellite? We haven't talked about satellites yet. They're even further out.
They are? Oh,
Yeah.
Wait
Yeah,
for
they're on the last one.
They're
on
Space.
satellite dish.
All right, here we go.
Even in the atmosphere.
Mesosphere. Mesosphere is the third layer in the atmosphere, and the root word meso means
Middle.
middle. Hey, where have we heard the root word meso before? Not in this room. I'm not that teacher. Music.
Yes. Mezzo piano.
Mezzo piano and mezzo forte. What do they mean?
Loud.
Medium, middle, medium. Do we see how that's kind of the Same thing.
So we're connected.
Medium
to
loud,
science.
medium soft, kind of loud, kind of soft in the middle. Wow.
We're connecting
music with
science.
Okay. Mrs. Cruzmark will be so proud of you guys remembering music words.
She already is.
And as wish we had choir teacher, I am also happy that my music friends remembered that. Okay. Mesosphere. Meso means middle, which can help you remember that this is the middle layer that we're going to now. Okay. This layer is extremely cold and the least understood of all the layers. What we do know is that shooting stars or meteor showers occur here. The gases in the mesosphere produce heat when met with a moving meteor, so it causes the meteor to burn. This creates the shining illusion we know as a shooting star. The meteors usually burn up by the time it reaches the next layer in the atmosphere. The mesosphere also extends for 22 miles past the troposphere and stratosphere. The next time you see a shooting star, just think how amazing it is that you can see so far into the atmosphere. So we've got mesosphere now.
That's open to
Let's see, we'll make it orange. Why not? Okay. This is also 22 miles.
thick, isn't it? Thicker.
22 miles thick.
Yeah, we should add all of them up so that we can do it how far they actually are.
We could. Mesosphere. And what did it say was in the mesosphere? Riley, what's in the mesosphere? You remember? What is it? Okay. And we have what? Said shooting stars. Okay, so we're going to put shooting stars out there in the mesosphere, which is actually meteors, not actually stars. Because we know stars are what?
Planets.
Suns, other suns, right? So they're not like,
That's so many galaxies.
suns aren't actually shooting across the sky. It's meteors that look like they're burning up, okay? All right, they are burning up in the mesosphere. Okay, next, we've got thermosphere.
Thermo means hot.
Thermo means hot.
Heat.
Heat. Hang on. Beep, beep. I can't change over to you guys. Hang on.
I remember in fourth grade we did this.
Bring this silly old tablet over here by me. Unpin.
It goes 53 miles up right now.
Unpin me. Goober doober.
Hey, Zeke. This will rock and roll.
There we go. Josie, yes ma'am.
15 miles.
The first thing that came to my mind was the thermos in my house.
Okay, so the thermostat where you change the temperature. So thermostat is where you change your temperature. A thermos is like a container that keeps things warm and heated.
My dad has a
Okay.
thermosphere.
I think it's like heat.
Thermometer cup. Whatever.
Okay, so now we've got the thermosphere. Let's read about it and find out what's going on out here in the thermosphere. The thermosphere is the fourth layer. Ooh, pink smells good. And extends for, get this, 319 miles. So I drew this kind of thin, but it's actually way thicker than the other ones. Okay. I'm putting an exclamation point. 319 miles. Thermosphere. It's huge. Temperatures in the thermosphere can reach up to 4,500 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go
Keep
there.
in mind, a really hot day for us is when it gets to 100. It gets like,
I bring them back a nice
okay, in the desert, it's getting like 110, 120 is like hottest, right? This is 4,500 degrees up here in the thermosphere. Although the temperatures are so high, if you were to travel to the thermosphere, you would actually feel cold. This is because there are not enough gas molecules in the thermosphere to create heat. Remember, the higher you go, the less dense the air
I'm
is.
underlining all
So
this.
there's nothing there to hold all of those heat molecules. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's nothing to hold on to the heat.
That's
The
why
heat.
How is it cold if it's 4,000? That's why in movies they freeze up.
Like when they're in space and
Oh,
when they all ride
Iron
the
Man when he goes up and it freezes
Iron Man.
his suit.
Okay, when
That's
Iron Man
like
goes up and he freezes his
when
suit.
Thor's in space and
Okay,
they put
Kendall,
him into his
all right.
ship, he's
You all right?
Yeah.
All right. Gray might have flipped over in his chair.
All
It's okay.
these atmospheres
Okay.
are 379.
Are you guys still seeing the board okay, the poster?
It's 379 miles up.
Okay, Kendall, what were you saying, babe?
There's going to be a satellite called the International Space Station.
All right. Here we go. We're still reading. The Thermosphere is also home to the International Space Station, or ISS. The ISS is a satellite that orbits Earth and is used by astronauts to research and conduct experiments about Earth and space. Astronauts have occupied the ISS since the year 2000. Each group of astronauts spends about 6 months aboard the satellite. So Thermosphere, it's actually really, really big. It's really, really hot, even though we don't feel it. And we got astronauts and the International Space Station up here. I don't know how to draw an International Space Station. I'm going to draw maybe an astronaut person with a little helmet on. There we go. I got an astronaut in space
What about the
hooked to the International Space Station.
That looks like a hat. That looks like a rocket ship.
There we go. International Space Station. I'm just going to write it on there because Lord knows my drawing isn't very good.
Wait, I know how to make it better. Do those one things.
Those one thing. That
Do those one things is a helpful thing to say. Okay, International Space Station. Okay,
Yeah, you could just do that.
finally we have the Exosphere. Exoskeleton
Outside.
means
Outside.
outside. Okay, so last layer, the outside layer, and Sean said skeleton because he's heard the word exoskeleton. And that's where creatures that have their like hard shell on the outside, like okay, crabs.
Turtle.
Turtle isn't necessarily an exoskeleton. They just have a shell. No, their actual body, the hard part is on the outside. So yeah, crabs, lobsters, things like that. The hard part is on the outside. A lot of bugs have exoskeletons.
Ew.
Insects, okay? All right, so exo means outside, so we're on the very outside layer of the atmosphere. Exosphere, final layer is called exosphere. It means outside. Beyond this final layer is outer space. The exosphere is by far the biggest at 6,200 miles wide.
6,200 miles.
Weather satellites, which are used by meteorologists to study the weather and climate, orbit here. Could you imagine life before you had television or an app to tell you the weather? Thanks to satellites in the exosphere, meteorologists are able to make up weather predictions that help us prepare for weather each day. All right, so I've got exosphere.
Okay, so now it's 6,579 miles of atmosphere.
All right, it's really big. Exosphere out here.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's a lot.
It's
big. You should keep that.
Exosphere, and it was 6,200 miles.
Use 3 exclamation points.
Josie,
That's big.
Josie's raising her hand.
Josie, yes, ma'am.
This doesn't have much to do with them, but I wanted to know, like, how many astronauts do you think are up in space right now? Like, is there always like a set amount that they always have up there?
There is always a set amount at the International Space Station, yes.
Why, because of COVID?
And no, it has nothing to do with that, babe. They have, I don't know how many astronauts are always there. I want to say at least 3. It might be more. Here's the deal. Do you think the International Space Station is a very large place? Is it even as big as your house? No. So should you put a whole bunch of people in it?
No.
Probably only
3 would work.
No, so I would say,
2.
yeah, it's less than 5, I would say. I mean, that's easy enough to Google and figure out. We can do that in a second. How do I draw a satellite?
You draw 2 wings and a
You
box.
make and then on the outside, and then
V shape?
No, you make rectangles on the outside, and then you put a cylinder on the inside.
Like a cylinder,
And then you put.
and then put, oh, I see what you're saying, and it's got those like rectangle panels on the outside.
That looks good. You should go to art.
Okay.
I typed it in 3 people.
3 people on the International Space Station. All right, is that a good satellite,
Yes.
we think?
That's what ours.
All right, satellites. Okay. 3 people aboard the International Space Station. Sounds good. Okay. So that is what I've got for atmosphere today. We are going to talk more about the atmosphere and how it affects us
Can you do
tomorrow. But hang on, I want to see if I can find something
Kahoot?
for us.
Kahoot?
So pause.
Are we gonna do Kahoot? Please, Kahoot. Please, can we do Kahoot, Mother?
Grass. Grass.
And type.
Grass. You guys gonna get it while we do it?
Disney. That was just random.
Can we open our
All right, I like this one.
Are we allowed to use the poster?
All right, we are going to play a Kahoot. Get excited.
Are we allowed to use the poster? Hey!
Who's that?
What's that?
I want to sit for my girl.
I'm trying to present it for you guys. Hang on, it's being difficult.
It's 7:46.
I don't have 2 Kahoots open. This is being silly.
What's the pen? Just click on it, Miss Fab. It might work. Miss Fab.
Driving me nuts, so.
You have to do it really fast.
I like it.
That's not the right one. All right, I figured it out now. There we go. All right. You have 2 minutes to get your name in, and then we're getting started.
Okay.
I'm Segan. I'm Legend Alpaca.
Ryan, you say poop. That's my thing.
I'm
I
Segan.
don't know, but it ain't working for me.
Friendly Squid 7. Legend.
I
Who's
know.
friendly Squid?
Are you doing?
Seriously, someone put P.
I'm so.
Someone put P.
The letter P.
P could be
Then
short for torso.
I P.
But that's not just something else. It's a shorter way to spell it. But an airplane?
Yeah, that was high. Oh, someone did Exosphere.
He
just goes-
Know that person. He just goes.
Yeah.
Exosphere.
Oh, Cheer Queen 101 is probably Grace.
So Riley dressed me.
It's
That's
you.
totally not me, Wink.
All right, Riley made the observation that
Cheer Queen is Grace.
Brian was up here in an airplane. So when he crashed, he was almost 30 miles above the earth when he went down.
That's scary. You think you're beyond Earth? Legend Alpaca. Who's Legend Alpaca? That's a big. Who's Legend? Wait, where's Legend Alpaca?
Again.
I need Zeke now. All right, Zeke, are you supposed to be that one? Who's number P?
Sean.
Okay, is everybody in?
Yes, I am. He is not number. Me too.
Everybody in.
I'm
Exosphere.
Kendall, you're.
All right, hang on, I'm gonna trace my screen.
I have a birthday.
I'm Ezekiel. I'm a Zeke.
right, is everybody on?
We're the girl group.
We're ready. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay. On mark, get set, here we go.
There's the atmosphere, not one above.
This would be easy. First one.
Oh, it didn't click.
I don't know if I got it.
Wait. Oh, I got it wrong.
Oh, I know.
I got it wrong.
The poster is hanging right there, guys. You know you
I
can
know. I misclicked.
I can't see.
Oh, I got it. I'm behind one, two.
Behind Segan.
All right, good job. Those of you that got it, most of you.
I got it.
Good try, guys.
I got it.
Vote, girl.
Vote girl.
No,
That's Cameron. That's Cameron.
Cam, right?
No, their name is Seagull.
Anyone not know their Marvel characters?
Wait, didn't you put off the Ozosphere?
Those look like.
All right, you guys know that the poster's still hanging right there. Good job.
I'm fifth. Yes. I'm doing good. I'm in one of the places. I'm in your
Hold going down.
And I'm 3 points away.
You named yourself Atmosphere, Kendall.
Exo.
Why?
What?
Hang on. Why is this really small for you guys? This one, right here.
Found it.
Oh, I clicked the wrong one.
Oh wait.
I think it's back on it.
Us three girls are up here. Yeah. We're helping each other.
Yes. I'm in the
Good job.
I'm behind the Proudy. I'm in the Proudy area.
I couldn't. You'll get
No, I did. I misclicked.
I got it.
Why do you do that?
Guys, they're always in the same place every one. Every time.
I clicked the wrong
Miss
one.
Dad, you need to move the GoPro.
What?
No.
You clicked it.
You
Oh, I'm in 11th place. Yes, I'm there. I'm there.
Oh.
The best flavor of ice cream.
Wait, what? These are all good. These are all right because there is no favorite.
Well, you better get your answer in quickly.
You can't be wrong.
You can't be wrong, so just do it.
I don't like green. What?
What?
Yes. I'm on a pony.
I didn't create it.
This sucks. This time I chose chocolate.
That's awesome.
This time I chose chocolate.
Well, I can turn it off.
That's totally fine.
Do you want to stop?
No.
I'll keep playing.
Chocolate is pretty good though.
It's my favorite.
Remember those prefixes we talked about? That's why it means hot.
I underlined all of what it meant and everything. So if you had to use it on the paper, I underlined it.
You are smart, so.
Like this.
Good job.
I'm always behind Holly.
What?
Sophie, good
I'm coming for you.
One of us has to be.
Mesosphere Slayer.
I can't see it.
It's ZYXW. W's on the top. WXYZ. WXYZ.
Wait, I couldn't see your name was in the way.
Sorry.
I was down before. Feels good.
Yes.
I'm in fourth place.
I'm still on the podium.
I'm in fourth. I'm at 10. No.
I'm third. Oh, good job, good job.
Who's Alpaca?
Jason's the
So,
alpha.
legend. This is where weather happens.
Oh, yeah.
I can't.
That's
Click it.
Sorry, just so many moves. So you can look at the board.
Does it matter if it's capitalized?
I'm on the podium.
Good job.
No, I did the wrong thing.
Yes, I'm back in place.
I do not get the difference.
I need to get to the podium.
Radio wave.
Me too. What?
Wait, what? I don't know.
What?
We didn't talk about this one.
UV rays.
This is radio waves.
Dang it. I don't know.
I don't know what a radio wave is.
If I get this right, I'm
I'm just thinking random.
Here, try to get it right. I don't want to look.
Meso.
I chose the whole thing.
Me too.
Didn't know. Okay. Good guesses.
Name
It is WXYZ again.
Really?
Oh, about blue.
Can we play this again? Whenever we're done.
Later this week.
Can we do it? Yes.
All right.
If I
Good job, guys.
get really.
Good job, Graham.
I was a runner-up.
That's Kimberly.
Nope.
Nope. That was you, Lowe's?
So.
Oh, wow.
We played another one.
Good job. Let me see if I can find a different one.
I'm sorry, friendly.
Oh, man, ice cream. I really didn't pick chocolate. She's out a lot. Hang on, my mouth.
I took my little iPhone.
I picked vanilla.
You picked vanilla. Where did my mouse go? Hang on, guys. Sorry.
I found it. It's
All right, hang on there. Ready, kids? We've got everything else.
Let's all do one of these.
Was I close? Oh, it's a bit of currency.
All right, I got another one.
No color.
So we gotta have game time first.
9, 10.
What the?
What? 8. 8.
All right, hang on, guys. Here it comes.
Who's Curtis?
Curtis.
Who's John?
All right, get in there as quick as you can. 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
No, not your Jolly Rhino 49. Yeah, I've seen your How many of these can we do? 3 hot.
We'll probably stop here because then it'll be recess after this. All right, you're down to 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop!
This one again? Are we doing the same one?
This is a different one.
Yay!
Practice makes perfect.
The lowest letter.
That's literally.
Yes.
I was first. Whoever did first. I was first. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, you're.
I'm trying to.
But
But
next
next.
good job.
Who's in first? Who's in first? I've been tied with somebody. Parker got first.
Where's the Exosphere? I got it.
Excel. The game decides. The game will decide. Yes! I think you're wrong.
Who's Curtis?
Me. Yeah, who's Curtis? No, you're not. You're not Curtis. You're Jolly Rhino 49. That's what you think.
And I'm.
It says it right there, Sean. You can't see it. Oh, I like that. It sounds like you're out from the...
Oh no, it's not the one.
Yes!
Good job.
Yeah, I know. I went down.
Sophie, you're on a roll. But... Oh. Wait, Lily said the orange one.
No, we didn't learn about that.
I'm kidding. The orange one. We didn't learn about the Jolly Rhino 49.
What is the second layer of that?
Got it. It's easy. I was on my house was on it.
You would have written this.
No, I didn't. I'm DJ. I'm behind you. I'm behind DJ. I'm behind you. What's about this one too?
Right now you're beside.
Yes.
Which layer are we in?
All this radio stuff. Who remembers the radio?
Me. It's thermo.
Totally.
It's totally thermo.
Okay.
I know. I know. It was so good.
How dare you miss that?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You.
We didn't know that.
Last question.
What?
Remember Meso means mezzo piano, mezzo forte.
You guys got it?
That's so good.
Three.
Great.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the
Let's see.
middle.
Let's see
Oh,
the
I'm in
results.
last place.
I was Curtis.
No, you weren't. I was.
Yeah, I was Curtis. You're Jolly Rhino. See, I'm Curtis.
It was just the period.
I'm Curtis.
That's an
That's a minus. That's a minus symbol. That's not a period.
Hey.
Runners up.
Yay!
Great job, DJ.
All right, guys. That's all I've got for science today. So we will see you at 12:35 for writing.
Do we fill out the worksheet?
We get to talk about the
I forgot there was a worksheet. Yeah, do that. We'll do that in a little bit.
Go ahead. Bye.
Dude, you can take
You had a worksheet too that I totally forgot about that we're gonna have to figure out. How to do.
Let me take control.
Remember that shirt I gave you in second grade?
No, we have 10 minutes before recess. Sit down. There's a worksheet. It's 10 minutes till recess. Sit down. There's a worksheet. I think based on
Like you want writing.
I know there's 15.
Even though you were wearing one of them.
All right, guys, you need this article for your worksheet. You will need to refer back to the article for your worksheet.
Ow! I just hit my head on the table. Yeah, that's why.
Walk it off. All right, get busy. Do your own work.
May we use these or no?
Yes. You're gonna have to.
I underline.
Good. Jason, get busy. All right, guys, do your own work. That's weird. Try one of the other ones. I'm trying to sharpen with a different pencil.
Try wiggling it around. Try shaking the pencil a little bit.
There you go. All right. Oh, good Lord, I'm still recording.